We fired our most average mechanic. Within days, our $1 million shop started collapsing. Arthur had been with us 7 years, solid mid-level mechanic. He rebuilt engines, hit his quotas, and went home. His metrics were aggressively average. Everything about Arthur on paper was unremarkable. When private equity mandated a headcount reduction, his name was the easiest to circle. He had no standout upsells, no VIP client sponsorships, and refused to push unnecessary ceramic coatings. He was the safest cut on the floor. He packed his heavy toolbox on a Wednesday, didn't argue, shook my hand, and loaded his truck. I watched him leave and thought, that's how clean corporate restructuring looks. By Friday, the garage was bleeding out. The $50,000 downdraft paint booth suffocated. Facilities couldn't clear the toxic fog. The vendor said the intake baffles were misaligned, a known defect. It turns out Arthur had been crawling into the exhaust duct every morning at 5 a.m. to manually reset the steel vents before the painters arrived. He never logged the hours. Nobody asked him to. That's when the real bombshell dropped. Day 6 was catastrophic. I found Maya, our newest apprentice tech we spent 10 grand recruiting, violently throwing her ratchets into her duffel bag. She shoved her resignation letter against my chest. What is this? I hissed. Heat climbed my neck and my vision blurred. Arthur was the only person who actually taught me the vintage electrical grids, she snapped. Everyone else screamed they were too busy billing hours. He sat with me for 40 minutes every shift and walked me through the schematics. I'm drowning without him. She walked out, gone in 6 weeks because the one veteran who made her feel competent was the one we deemed expendable. Then the elite collectors started pulling their accounts, not over labor rates. They specifically demanded Arthur. Our biggest whale, a Porsche broker, pulled 3 active builds. Arthur remembered my wife's cancer treatments. The broker growled at my sales lead. He checked on her every time I dropped off a chassis. That's why I trusted you. They didn't pull their cars immediately, but the loyalty evaporated. Warmth, I learned, is the unbillable currency that prevents a contract from reverting to a cold transaction. The shop floor curdled. Techs hoarded tools. Screaming matches echoed in the bays. I realized Arthur was the guy who brought breakfast burritos after a nightmare overhaul. He read the room before the room knew it needed reading. I texted him on a Saturday night. It was a massive liability. I didn't care. We are completely falling apart, I wrote. He didn't gloat. He didn't demand his job back. He replied instantly. Kick the primary booth baffle hard to the left before you cycle the fan, he texted, and call Maya back. She panics on intricate wiring because her old boss used to scream at her. I stared at my screen. He was still taking care of us from the outside for a company that slaughtered his livelihood without a second thought. The corporate aftermath was poetic in its irony. The equity firm recognized the culture gap within a month. Their solution? Hire a vice president of team dynamics. Starting salary, $130,000, double Arthur's pay. The new executive's first mandate was catered Fridays and structured mentorship blocks. We paid an astronomical premium to bureaucratize the kindness one man gave for free. His dynamic strategy was breakfast burritos. His retention program was remembering Maya's trauma. Arthur is at a boutique fabrication warehouse now, a tiny 12-man crew. I hear their production speed is terrifyingly efficient. I bet their paint booth works perfectly. I bet their junior mechanics feel safe. I bet there is an undeniable pulse of loyalty in that garage, and nobody there knows exactly why, because Arthur will never tell them.